Yeah.
Judgment Day, like you win a world title and you all shit just fall apart.
It's backwards, hustling backwards.
Yeah.
You don't remember that Edge was the key piece to
Yeah.
this. You don't, they don't give you nothing. And I think that Triple H just live off. That's the perfect way to describe it. Triple H just live off of moments just to get through the night.
Yeah, and honestly, he's living through, I mean, look at the Judgment Day, look at the Bloodline. Those were Vince McMahon's like final big stuff, and he hasn't really. What was
Yep.
his big story stuff here? I mean,
This Netflix is going to expose Triple H because, like you said, it is everything is still dry. Even Dominic Mysterio, all that shit is drawing off of Vince McMahon. I want to say this real quick. I want to get back to what we was just saying. I just want to say this real quick. Dominic Mysterio, I believe, off of intergender matches, I believe that Dominic Mysterio could pull it off. Dominic Mysterio remind me so much of Eddie Guerrero on every level, except for in the ring. But as far as a character standpoint, that I believe that he could pull off an intergender match to where he could lose, not look weak, and move on from there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
oh yes, and I think so.
But eventually he's going to have to step up inside that ring. Eddie Guerrero brought it in the ring first.
Yeah. But
You know, my thing is China and Eddie Guerrero. This is how great China. This is how great things was. China and Eddie Guerrero. If you look back on it, 6 months. That's it. At the WrestleMania, by SummerSlam they was broke up. SummerSlam Unforgiven or something September they was broke up. But we got a lifetime memory of them. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Whatever they did stood the test of time. Remember, she came out with the roses and shit. That bitch was a pipe, and she'll bust your fucking head with that shit.
oh yeah.
You know, that was a 6 month run, and that's all that they needed for us to say that Eddie Guerrero in China was the shit.
What is the modern day of that? What is the modern day of something that stood the test of time?
Well, something that stood the test of time. As much as I believe that he's a racist, as I believe that he's a racist, the only person I believe that truly has it in this business right now today is MJF in every way.
Oh yeah, I think that is true. And not, I don't know about all the other stuff, but I want to just go back to the pay per view.
I do.
I think that but yeah, I want to get back to the pay per view. Is that you know, it's funny how you had like those two women matches and Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Just, I mean, it's fine. I feel like, you know what it feels like? I felt like that should have been on Monday Night Raw and just put the world title match there. That's what I felt like that match was.
But the thing is, this is what I look.
Where do you move on with though? That's the key. Where do you move on with Finn Balor and where do you move on with?
Priest.
And I'm not talking about Judgment Day. Where do you move on with Finn Balor and where do you move on with
Priest.
Him losing the tag
Damian
belts.
Priest?
Him losing the tag belts.
All right. So this is why I get it. Like, are we judging the show by the show itself, or are we judging the show by the show and what's going to happen after that? Because if we're judging it just strictly by the show, I thought the show was fine. I thought it was a good show.
Decent.
Oh, this was a great show, I believe.
Yeah, and
Uh,
Yeah.
decent. I think it was decent to good. The women's matches drag. I think it drags down. I think Punk and Drew were great.
Yeah.
I think the tag match was great.
that may have been the best Hell in a Cell match. I mean, as a match quality, you know, Undertaker and Mankind got spots. As a
Yeah.
match,
Match. Yeah.
this I gotta watch Brock Lesnar and Undertaker again,
Yeah.
I think
and I gotta
Orton.
watch because I found an appreciation for Batista. I gotta watch Batista and Triple H again, but on the match aspect, this may have been the best Hell in a Cell match
Yeah.
I ever
And
seen.
everything made sense.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best matches I think these two had, and I hope the feud ends. And it pretty much gives. I think Punk is going to beat. I think it's going to be Punk going against Gunther. Oh heck, maybe it's going to be Punk versus Goldberg because you know you saw that that whole little sketch, right? I'm just saying, you know, it is not. I mean, the Saudi show is coming up, and the Saudis love Goldberg, so don't be surprised if that title
Well,
change.
wait a minute. I think that Goldberg is going to stick with Gunther, and then that's going to be it for Goldberg. But
Because Goldberg just said he wanted to have a retirement match.
I think that's the logical, and I think that's going to be it for him. But for CM Punk next, I believe it's going to be Ethan Page. If y'all seen what happened on NXT,
I don't know. Ethan, I think he's good at NXT, but will he be good enough for Monday Night Raw for a feud with CM Punk? I don't know.
well, that goes once again to Triple H versus HBK. Triple H, I'm sorry, HBK
He's
made me
better.
interested in
He's the best booker
Ethan
right
Page.
now. He is the best.
Yes, he made me interested in Ethan Page. I was happy with Ethan Page's title reign. I was happy with Ethan Page since I seen him in because I heard his name. I never gave a fuck about him
He's
before.
doing good, but he never had something to put his meat into, his seek his teeth into. I think NXT did that, and now look at him right now. They have direction, they have all this other stuff, and honestly, I think Shawn Michaels is probably the better booker because he has stuff he can put his name on. He can put on stuff like Trick.
Shawn Michaels is a fucking one thing about Shawn Michaels is the best storyteller in the ring history. I will give him that, especially and you could go pre 1998, but his last run between 2000 and 2002 and till the time he retired, Shawn Michaels is the best storyteller in the ring, probably ever. Probably. That's my opinion. And so I can see why his booking is the way that it is. You got to know Shawn Michaels 2002 to 2000 what
10.
9 when he retired or
No,
something.
I think he retired in 2012, I think. 2011.
2012.
No, he retired. He
You
retired
got to
in
know Shawn Michaels.
2010.
You got to
He
know
had that
Shawn Michaels
retirement
did.
match against Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he never
Shawn
wrestled
Michaels
again.
is
Well,
yes, and then
until
I
Saudi
appreciate
came,
that. No, he had that shitty match, but that ain't shit. You right. He never wrestled again.
just like Ric Flair never wrestled again. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, Ric Flair fucking is embarrassment.
Saying he had a heart attack during the goddamn match. Good lord.
He a racist bitch, and I wish that when I met him that I would have been on code to when I am now. I met Ric Flair. I met Ric Flair at a Ring of Honor show probably around 2012, 2013 or some shit like that. And the thing is, I knew that he was at the show and he was signing autographs, and the autographs was like $50. And I was in a long ass line, and I'm like, I'm not about to pay no goddamn $50. I'm good with seeing him from a distance. So it just so happened I went to the bathroom and he come out the fucking store and my dumb ass at the time, coon or whatever you want to call it. Oh my God, Ric Flair, da, 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 da. It's so good to meet you. And I shook this motherfucking hand and I'm like, oh my God, I'll never wash this hand again and all this other different
I
shit.
guess that was before you heard the Teddy Long interview.
Mm.
This is before all that, before I even gave a fuck about all that shit. And my dumb ass now, I'm thinking back realizing this motherfucker came out the store and didn't wash his fucking hands and I shook that motherfucker. Nasty bitch.
Mm. Yeah. But what do you think
And he
about?
shit it because the bathroom stink.
Ah man, I got to head out. But I want to say this before I go. What do you think of the tag main event? Good stuff. I just I feel bad for
You see the
Solo.
Kevin Owens
Hey,
stuff?
yeah, why can that be on SmackDown? Why is that like
I
having?
like this match. I like this. I'm glad that you mentioned the main event, and I was gonna let this go over my head because the main event didn't even cross my mind as we was talking. I do want to say this. One thing that wrestling has turned into is finishing move after finishing move after finishing move. Close call after close call. This match was a tag team brawl. It was a tag team match, and it was a tag team brawl that didn't need 100 spears and 100 Cody Rhodes twisters or whatever he do. It was a tag team brawl, and I was satisfied and content. On top of that, The Rock came out. That was a great tag team match, and for the star power, it was a great main event.
I just feel bad for Solo, man. He hasn't. I mean, the man has not had a victory since what? Like after those the three-way match he had like a couple months ago. And when's his last singles victory? I think he that's the last one.
Can I pull your ear to something? Can I pull your ear to something?
Well,
It could work nowadays. It can work nowadays because you still looking at Solo as a threat, and I agree with you. I think about that all the time. But then I'm just looking at modern days. But then again, can we really look at this? Jeff Hardy, historically, was a jobber.
hmm.
Jeff Hardy beat all of your small time players. But when it came down to main, yeah, he won the world title, but he probably held those titles for like a month at a time. He never really beat your Edge in the main event match, Undertaker in the main event match, The Rock in the main event match, this, that, and the other. He always took the losses on the big matches, the big matches. You get what I'm saying? And they gave him that world title to give him credibility, but Jeff Hardy was technically a loser.
But this Solo has the
But he
same
all you
vibe of Jeff
go ahead.
Hardy. Is he on the same vibe?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the fact that when it come down to certain people, wins and losses don't mean anything. They're going to continue with certain people is put in the main event to job.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. Macho Man Randy Savage never pinned Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
They done wrestled each other 100 times across the world.
Yep.
Randy Savage never beat Hulk Hogan, but you would look at him as one of his greatest
And then I
competitors.
remember Chris Jericho said he's never beat John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you will look at him as when you go into a match, you would believe that he have an opportunity to beat
Hmm.
John Cena. Um, mm, trying to think of big people that was just fucking big people that could beat everybody, but when it came down to big match times, he lost. But that's what they are made for. Mankind. Mick Foley is the perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Mick Foley was the key to everybody getting over. Before the Undertaker, you got to remember the Undertaker won the WWF title in 1992. Before then, he didn't get it to 1997. He had a big major feud with Mick Foley for a few months before he overcame and became a world champion again and became bigger than the Undertaker. You understand what I'm saying? More characterized than that dead man. Same thing with The Rock. Mick Foley was the one that put The Rock over. Mick Foley was the one that The Rock, Mick Foley may have won here on a Raw or two, but at the end of the day, big time, Mick Foley was gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? Certain people is put in they will beat all the smaller people, but once they get to the big people, they're going to lose. The Rock could beat everybody up under the sun. He couldn't beat Stone Cold Steve Austin for shit.
Not until that last
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
The last match that Stone Cold Steve Austin never had.
Mm, yeah, and that's the thing though, and I think that you build. I think that's a good point, but I do worry though because Jake
I mean,
Fatu
when I
is
say Jeff Hardy as a jobber, I don't want people to think that he lost. But when you put it in that instance, hey, he
yeah
was a jobber.
he just never really reached that top epsilon. And besides,
So you gotta keep my point in saying that is you gotta keep people like that. You gotta keep people like Solo for people like Roman Reigns to keep his legacy going. I can make him look strong enough beneath me, but he can't beat the man.
yeah, and but I do like I say, Roman's not going to be there forever. Cody ain't going to be there forever. I mean, you do. Solo is 30. He's still young, same as Jacob, and all that stuff. I just like again. I worry because time's ticking, and his aura is very low at this point. I just wish that they
Well,
would
who,
have.
But
who's
shit, they
who,
got they
who,
got they
who's
got
talking
better
right now?
talent down in NXT. But it depends on how they feature. Like me and
So wait a minute, Duke. That was you that just said
no, that
that.
was me.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
Okay, so Jay, okay, so Duke, I don't think that you was up here earlier when I was telling Jay that, remember I told you that wrestlers now what we're going to face is them having short spans. Instead of people getting twin like Billy Gunn is 60 and he got a 30-year, 30, 40-year career right now, I don't think we're going to get those. I think that wrestling is going to move so much at a fast pace. You're going to get your stars. They're going to get there. In 5 years, they out of there. Just like The Rock. Because if we pay attention, we let time is an illusion. The Rock only been in the WWE for like 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
5 years, and I'm not just talking about him being a man. I'm talking about from 1996 to 2001. He was more active maybe in 2002, maybe. So we're gonna say 5 or 6 years, and that was it for The Rock. But we look at The Rock, we got a feeling like The Rock been in the industry for 20, 30 years. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
No one is going to be able to capture us like that because time is moving so rapidly. So I think the shelf life of wrestlers, we're not gonna get no more Miz's, and we're not gonna get no more Hulk Hogan's or Dusty Rhodes to where they going to be able to keep our attention for 30, 40 years. I think that time is going to be over.
Mm. Yeah. Well, you.
And that's where wrestling is going to be in trouble.
Mm.
Think about where the WWE could possibly be at in 10 years. And I'm not even just on that bullshit. Y'all can go through my shit and think I'm trolling the shit, but I low key be serious. Triple H got heart problems. What if he died next week?
Mm.
You have no Vince McMahon touch at all. You got people that think that they could book this shit, but who has been the most successful? Vince McMahon.
Mm.
And we talking about business. So the people that own the WWE is the UFC. They know how to promote UFC. The only person that know how to promote MMA is Dana White.
Yeah, that's why he's still
He
there.
don't know how to promote wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He don't even respect wrestling.
He sees it as a sideshow.
So my point is, if the WWE go down, because you don't have that care that's into it. You know what I'm saying? That care that's into it. Vince McMahon put that touch on there. Whether you like this shit or not, nigga, you was invested. At some point, you may have fell off for a few months, you may have fell off for a few years, but you brought your ass back home. Nobody else got that ability. That's where I'm at with it.
Mm.
I'm old school. I could just see it, nigga. I, call me whatever. Call me whatever, nigga. These motherfuckers, I don't see these motherfuckers progressing. I don't see the WWE being anything. I don't see them developing new fans within the next 10 years.
Ooh.
But
That's a bold
I'll
speech.
say that.
but they got the talent to though.
It is how you feature them. That's the
Yeah.
question.
Yep.
So, me and you, Jay, me and you the same age. We've been watching, give or take a couple of years around the same time. Duke, how old are you?
I'm 38, and I've been watching
Okay,
since I
you.
was like in the 80s and 90s, and I dipped off around and everything else. But I circle
So we
around.
just about the same age and we got about the same knowledge, right? Because you still know what's what, right?
Hmm.
70s, 80s, 90s. Okay, so we all three of us is on the same page. At least we done seen it all, okay? And I'm not just talking about wrestling. We done seen it all. We done heard it all in music. We done seen it all in movies. We done seen it all in any type of aspect. I'm pretty sure. I don't know you brothers, but I'm pretty sure that we all on that same page. All right. I'm pretty sure Merton is all our favorite show, right? Top five,
Oh
right?
yes, yes.
Okay. If we could be on that same page. We've seen it all. What more could any wrestling do to keep you invested 10 years from now?
Mm.
Music get on my nerves today. I can't stand it.
Man, I have you here talking all
I,
day if we start talking about music, man.
But I
But
think the one thing is, and I think I have a little more hope, is that it's going to be more decentralized. It will go back to the days of territories and indies and such like that. That's why I think wrestling will go back to. There'll be big events, but it'll be more decentralized. Because again, you see a lot more independent artists right now. You see people who had no shot before, or just new ideas. They have their own niche. They can be like, hey, I can be like, wow, I can get like a, you know, multiple spins on like Spotify or, you know, sound, all the other stuff, man. So they they know all they need to do is just like get the right people in their path, and then bam, there you go. I think that's what we are listening to right now, music, and I think that's the same thing happening to wrestling. You're gonna
I
have
mean, and
a back to territories, back to the same thing. That's what it's going to be. More
but
niche,
okay,
but
so
a
think
sustainable
about what you're
niche.
saying though. Think about what you're saying though. Think about what you're saying. You saying the territories. So now, when you say territory, you mean like multiple promotions. And listen. Let's break it down. Even if you say coast to coast, east, west, north, south. So you got, let's just say, four major promotions. First of all, as you could tell, AEW isn't intriguing. Maybe that could be off the top. Maybe that could be because of Tony Khan. Then again, maybe it's because wrestling don't sell and everybody go to is the WWE. But if the WWE don't bring the intrigue that they are known for having, and you do say that they break down territorially, do you believe that it would be mainstream, or do you believe that it's just going to be something that we just going to have to find on our own, on the internet or something?
It's already slowly happened. I mean, even Vince said back in, I think, 2012 or 2013, he pulled up a cell phone and said, "This is the future." And I think that's pretty much what it is now. Everyone has their own apps, their own things, and everything else. So it's just going to break down to that type of situation. And I think it's going to be when you look at the Netflix deal, you look what AEW could be on Max now. You're going to see, the rating systems on TV is pretty much over. The Nelson rating is dead. No one watches TV anymore.
Well,
And then,
WWE, that's why when people talk about ratings in wrestling, not to cut you off, but when people talk about wrestling and ratings, Vince McMahon said this shit in the 90s on that Off the Record, if you could find it. He had a few interviews on there, but it's one particular thing he said. But even, matter of fact, even what I was about to say, that's irrelevant. With them moving on Netflix and all that shit, see, WWE money is already in the bank. NBC could give them $5 billion for 5 years.
1 billion.
Saudi Arabia could give them $5 billion for 5 years. You know, these networks could give them money. So it doesn't matter if their ratings is high or not. They're going to get the same money regardless. Their money is projected, and if they're and the only difference in projection that you're gonna notice is probably merchandising and ticket sales. You get what I'm saying? Other than that, WWE money is in the bank.
hmm
The WWE is not spending money to make money.
Yeah, they're done. I mean, they got everything. And
They got it.
yeah, whenever they have one of them WrestleManias, they got cities bidding on them, bro.
Yes,
yeah, they got.
it's the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's right there. It's become like their Super Bowl and such. And
But you got to remember though. You got to remember though. You know, The Rock brought the heat for this advertisement for this
Oh yeah,
WrestleMania. How much more heat do you think that they got?
that's why they paid that motherfucking $9 million just for them little months he did.
But listen, The Rock can't do it every single year. How much heat do they
Yeah,
got? Think about it. Can you name me five wrestlers that I mean both of y'all differently? Can y'all name me five wrestlers that's going to be in the industry that you see being successful in the industry 10 years from now?
none.
Not one besides MJF. I give MJF.
Man, Hollywood's going to call him. Same as Swerve. Same as Cody, because he already got a taste. I mean, he did like some stuff on the Arrow and everything. So don't think he might not come back to that. You got like who? I think Trick is probably. I wouldn't be surprised he's going to be gone in 2 or 3 years. Same as Mello. He's probably gone. I mean, most of the
That's
New
fucked up.
Day,
That's fucked up.
most of the New Day is already doing reality shows. So
New Day is done. After this feud, they're done. I made up my mind that Xavier Woods is done. But that's why I delineate. Duke, I don't think you was up here earlier, but that's why I delineate. If you look at the history of New Day, like I said, Biggie is Jamaican and Monsterian, and Kofi Kingston
Ghana.
is Ghanaian.
I thought he was Jamaican.
They're not Black Americans, and Xavier Woods has had the least success out of all of them. Not saying he should have been WWE champion, but even when they were tag team champions, it was only two of them in the ring, and Xavier Woods
You
wasn't
don't
one of
rock
them.
with Xavier Woods?
Huh? No, I'm not. I'm delineating. I rock more with Xavier Woods than I do Big E and
Oh,
Kofi
okay. I was
I
Kingston.
just
mean,
saying.
his.
That's where
I
I'm
feel
at.
honestly his best stuff was when he was in TNA as Consequences Creed, but you don't know his way remembers
He
that.
always had it. He always had it. The WWE never put no effort
Oh
behind it.
well, they had a little bit
Always
something,
had it.
but I think at the end now it's just that that he had his niche. He has his niche, and he's probably
Mm.
chilling with
Mhm.
playing Uno with like
Hey,
Claudio
I'm gonna ask you
and
this: the Odyssey Jones, have they convicted him or anything yet?
oh,
They didn't charge
Charge
him. No, they didn't
charge him or anything?
charge him with
Mm.
anything.
he's they.
He wasn't even charged with the crime. He's out of a job.
Well,
And
the situation with him weird because even before that, like he got called up like a year ago and they never used him.
Yeah, he was just like there. I was like, was he like heck? He was
man,
working
listen,
SmackDown house shows. Like, wait a minute, was he supposed to be on Raw?
bro. Bro. Y'all subscribe to my channel and listen to my shit. I've been calling all this out. And I'm gonna bring you something even deeper. I'm gonna go to something that's more closer than all of us. Let's look at Diddy right now. I'm gonna take a look at the system of white supremacy real
Ooh,
quick. Y'all familiar with this Diddy situation, right?
yep.
Yeah.
What exactly is he being accused of?
Mm,
Somebody,
let's see.
And give me
somebody,
details.
Dr. Umar brought this up. He said something about like Hugh Hefner
So,
been doing this for years.
Nigga, he have. Look on my page. I've mentioned Hugh Hefner. Yes, he have. The matter of fact, on my last podcast, matter of fact, on my Vince McMahon shit, I said that Hugh Hefner is the American pimp.
he just had a better marketing team. That's what he had, and
So
protection. He had the complexion for protection
let,
and a great marketing team.
let me show you the power of white supremacy. I just asked y'all to give me details on Diddy and y'all don't have nothing.
Mhm.
Now, if I ask you to give me details on Vince McMahon and what he's being sued for, you could tell me he shit on bitches' heads. You could tell me that he's been accused of of prostituting these women out to other wrestlers, executives, or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Him raping people. This is actual allegations that people are actually coming out and accusing him of. And Vince McMahon is being sued while Diddy is in jail, and nobody can truly say what Diddy did. These are rumors that we always been saying about Diddy, but he's never been charged or convicted for none of it.
Honestly, the reason why is the same thing as wins are. Look at Larry Flint. You can look at Hell Hefner. You can look at the people who you know, I guarantee you,
Nigga,
they
look at your president.
the
Look at your president, Joe Biden
Trump.
and Donald Trump.
They
We
were
know Joe. No, fuck that. Joe Biden. Ain't nobody ever came out and said nothing yet. Joe Biden been fucking these bitches too.
oh
Let's
yeah.
cut the bull job.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna take y'all deeper. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take y'all deeper. Jesse Jackson ran for president and he lost because he cheated on his wife. But Bill Clinton won the presidency, and before he was president, he was getting accusations of fucking bitches during his second election. He got indicted on fucking lying about fucking bitches and shit, and he's labeled the first black president. Come on now.
oh yeah. It's because the system. And honestly, I think
Despite the fact that he locked up more black Americans since fucking slavery.
yeah, they're putting the plane thing for the same thing with Kamala as well. So it's just the same BS. It's different day. And honestly, the reason why most of these people don't get any charges and everything else is because I'm gonna say this: they
White
get
supremacy.
white supremacy, and they get they get like people from local senators, local city council, local people
White
to
supremacy.
yeah, they get the local
White supremacy.
lawmen. They get the local law on their
they,
side.
hey, they gonna go out and vote. We not. We gonna vote for the presidential election, and that's it. Them niggas know who do. They gonna vote for their senators, city council, state representatives, mayors, governors, all that shit. There's so many different layers that these motherfuckers got to be opposed to us.
Oh, and by the way, they not
So
just
I want y'all
voting.
to pay attention to something. I want y'all to pay attention to something. Where everybody think that Vince McMahon losing, Vince McMahon walked out of this deal with $10 billion in his pocket. And when I say that, and I'm talking about the money. When wrestling with racism, I don't talk about just racism. I talk about money. You
Power.
understand what I'm saying? Vince McMahon walked out of this deal with $10 billion out of in his pocket after taxes. Look it up. It was a $21 billion deal.
Yeah, and he sold all this stock
And
too.
Vince McMahon don't have no side by side partners. He walked out of this shit with his with $10 billion in his pocket, and he's being sued for $100 million. Did the man? And he's in his 80s and he's retired. Did he lose?
Mm.
No. Woo. Spitting. And you know what? He hasn't lost a damn
And
thing.
he ain't gotta fuck. Hold on, I'm gonna take you even deeper. And he ain't never gotta fuck Linda McMahon again.
There's
Wow,
no
man.
consequence.
What?
There's no consequence, buddy. There's no consequence of
And
that, sir.
Diddy is sitting, and Sean Combs is sitting in jail.
Same with R. Kelly. You know?
I'm not saying that Diddy is guilty. I'm not saying that he innocent. I don't know. But you know what? Even if they did find that man innocent, black Americans don't have no justice in America. So I don't know if that's true or not. I just sat up here. Temptations is one of my favorite movies of all time. I just stood up there and sat them put on you remember the scene where he got fired
Mm-hmm.
and he was cussing them out?
Yep.
That was they got AI with dude face on there with them niggas got fucking Jay-Z and all these other and they look just like him. AI is a bitch.
Mm.
So all these tapes that they say that they got on Diddy, who's to say that it's fucking real?
Yep. Again,
We moving into a new era, nigga, and it's anti-black.
it's been anti-black since we got here. And they will.
It's even worse. More Hispanics in America than it is black Americans.
Uh, man. And a lot of them are like anti-black, but no one wants to talk about that because it will destroy that little intersectionality type of weird, fantasy in their heads.
Man, these Africans out here hate us. These motherfucking Jamaicans hate us. These Haitians out here, they come in here. They get the incentives and the benefits that we are supposed to receive, and that's more than what they get at home. So they look at us as to why are we dissatisfied?
But you know who hate us the most? The Africans. They hate us more than white folks.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. I'm not gonna say that they don't hate us more than the white folk. They hate us through white folk.
Yeah.
White folk will take an African and say, "Look, we got a nigger that's in this prominent position, so you can't say that we racist." And as long as they know that they can get them positions over us, listen, you got an African that's about to play Otis Redding. You've had Africans that have played, and UK people like Idris. You know,
You don't
five
rock with
years
Idris.
ago, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have a problem with Idris Elber Eger, or whatever. You know who I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Elba. It's Elba.
5 years ago, I wouldn't have a problem with him. But now I'm noticing like a lot of people from the
Is
UK
he buck dancing?
is playing Harriet Tubman. They playing Aretha Franklin.
Uh,
They playing Otis Redding. They playing us now. You know what
hey,
I'm
what
saying?
you think about Umar Johnson? Yeah.
Umar, Dr.
Yeah, what
Umar.
you think about him?
Mm.
I agree with a lot of things that he say, but I'm flip flop on him I'm flip flop on Tariq Nasheed, even though I agree a lot of things they say because you know everybody got opinions in social media, just like I do. You know what I'm saying? At this moment, I'm not in it for the money. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Umar said that he was going to build a school.
Yep.
Yep, didn't do
He's
that.
been getting donations, and that's been his primary focus. And for the fact that Jalen Rose, and I'm in Detroit, Jalen Rose has had schools in Detroit for the last 20 years. He's had charters. He's got at least three charter schools in Detroit for the last 20 years. It's no excuse for you.
What are you doing with them?
But I agree with a lot of things that he say, and I do believe that he should be listened to. That's all I'll say on that.
What are you doing with the donations?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Probably getting this stuff out there, but that's what I think it
Then
is.
again, then again, then again, then again, then again. I'm not naive because I am in Detroit once again, and I can only speak from my experience in the city of Detroit, where we're being gentrified right now at this very moment. They, we, okay. Whoever said that they are a lot of Asians own y'all stores and stuff,
I don't
a lot of Middle Eastern people own our stores. They service
know.
us. You
The
know what I'm saying?
Arabs,
The
we
Mm.
Arabs.
got them too.
Where you at?
Like I said, St. Louis, Midwest.
Well,
St.
same
Louis.
here around
Yep.
where I'm at, man. And I remember there was an old video by like a dude
They
named
own all
Big.
the 7-Elevens.
Yeah, the
Oh yeah.
over at an old video from like a dude called BB Cal, Big B Cal. He used to YouTube. I don't know if he does it, but I saw a video basically saying that yeah, this they had this idea. And it was basically all the stores and everything else. They had this big mosque or whatever. And they have their own schools. They have like the stuff for the old people. They're like they have
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff here. And I'm like, he said, what?
I'm glad that you saying this, brother. You lining up right with what I'm about to tell you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's he was saying that why aren't we doing this? What we used to, but now we're just
It's
all
not. It's no. It's not. I'm gonna cut you right there. Bam. See, like I said, I'm with you on what you say. Now we got to look at history,
mm,
okay? And I'm gonna tell you what's going on with me. We in Detroit are able. We are not able to service our own people. They will practically give these Arabs the land. They would charge us three or four times more for a piece of property for us to service our people. Here's the thing: in the suburbs, which is very close to Detroit, they will allow us to go out and service them. But when it come down to servicing our own people in our community, they will not allow it to happen. We got certain codes, this, that, and the other, and they'll try to cut you as soon as you fuck up one time or somebody else fuck up your shit. You know what I'm saying? A nigga smoked the blunt outside your door. Oh, you shut down for life.
yep.
It's white supremacy. And so it's you can't sit up here and think that niggas is, and I don't say niggas. I'm just when I speak on white folk language. That's the only way that you can talk to these people. So when I say nigger or niggas and all this other different shit, I'm speaking white folk language. All right.
Mm,
You can't sit up here and think that all niggers are legitimately lazy
no,
to the
no.
point to where we don't want to own and control anything. You get what I'm saying? When I look at the breakdown of the city of Detroit, when Coleman Young became mayor in the 70s, he drove all the white folk out, and black people were able to produce and do things for ourselves. But then the system of white supremacy pumped drugs throughout our community. It scared whatever remaining white folk were out, and there were literally no jobs left. And they took them out into the suburbs, and we couldn't go out into the suburbs. What happened was the police wasn't killing us; they was pulling us over and giving us tickets to the point to where we couldn't afford to pay these tickets and we lost our licenses and we couldn't get out to where the actual good paying jobs was. And in Detroit, what was left over was little grocery stores, restaurants
Yeah.
that paid minimum wage, this, that, and the other, and nobody could build and progress as a community.
Yeah.
This is what America does. It's called white supremacy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They constantly put black people in these positions. So you can't say that all black people are the same, right? Let's say it's all three of us living in an apartment building, okay?
Hmm.
What's the odds of all three of us individually becoming successful for our families and building for ourselves?
Unless someone hits
You're
the
gonna catch
lottery.
that one, you're gonna catch that, but that's our hope and that's our dream. That's all that we live for. I got a couple extra dollars left. That's what's going on the lottery ticket. I don't have enough to build and save so I could get a business for myself. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I could buy this piece of land. You get what I'm saying? We living for the day. Black people constantly have to live for the day.
Yeah.
This is the positions that black American, that's white supremacy. This is the positions that we all are put into constantly. It's a rotating circle, decade by decade. No matter how it may seem, it's always the same.
Yeah. It's a very.
Once we, as the 13%, can realize that, then we could rethink, we could regain and control ourselves and figure things out for ourselves. We about to get ready to go into a fucking fight. You in St. Louis? Where did you say that you was, Duke?
I live in Maryland, man.
So you already know what time it is down there.
Yeah.
I just talked to somebody from DC yesterday. He said that DC seemed like it's getting gentrified. Uh, how do you feel in the section where you are?
Yeah. It's basically getting. It's probably already happened. I live like a couple Latinos. You know, basically took over there to some old white folks. Yeah, it's just basically that. And I do see some black kids around, but it's not as you know. Yeah, just like it's a
And I'm
very.
gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna tell you this. Where I work at, I work in, like I said, I'm in Detroit, and I work in the automotive industry. I'm working next to a fucking robot. So a robot, what 50 people do in 1 hour, a robot could do it in less than half an hour, the same amount. So we're getting to the point to where Black Americans, specifically on the labor force, are going to become irrelevant. They pushed us out of Harlem. They pushing us out of Detroit. They may push us out of St. Louis. They may push us out of Baltimore and DC. Where are they really shifting us?
Well, the only
Being
good
honest,
places is south. I hear there's still some good black stuff down there in the south, but even then, they just might just push us down to the sea at this point.
oh, it's funny that you say that. White folk giving up the South?
Probably. Heck, they already. I mean, in some cases, they're giving up their own neighborhoods. I mean, in some of
Remember,
those.
black people originate from throughout slavery. Black people originated through the South in America, and but we migrated. We ran up north when there was more opportunity for us up here. What we thought was free opportunity for us up north. Now, are you telling me that we are shifting back to
Oh
the
yeah, there's
South?
a lot of people moving down to the south. So, and it's happening.
Uh,
White folk happening too,
I
because
know at least three people that moved from Detroit to Phoenix.
sometimes the west or the south. I think it's going to be some more, in a couple more decades. But that's happening down to white folk too. Appalachia, you
Well,
think, oh,
people
there's
move from
like millions
Detroit.
of people there. There's like, oh my gosh,
People move
but
from Detroit to Phoenix, but ain't nobody moved from Phoenix to Detroit though.
yeah, that's true.
Nope,
But yeah, like I was going to
nope.
say, is that they're already, taking out their own citizens and such too. Because I remember there was a news report that, like, in some Asian communities, they're just like, this, they're not, their old like jobs and everything are slowly going away because their kids are going to college and going to those big businesses and everything. And I think last I checked, there was a huge protest of a stadium that was, I think, Philadelphia was going to do a stadium, like one of the sports teams were going to have it, and it was like right near Chinatown. They were going to take away like jobs, whatever, and it looks like it might still happen. And it just, yeah, they're just like they're cutting
Well, I
them. They're
mean,
just they're wiping the
how
board.
familiar are y'all? I don't know where you are politically, and Jay. I'm sorry, because like I said, I have been drinking, and I was watching Bad Blood. My theme, I want to say this. My theme is wrestling with racism. I'm a huge wrestling fan, and mass majority of my things is exposing consistently exposing the injustices in professional wrestling with racism. But at the same time, once we get to talking wrestling, real life come in, and you get to talking
Ask
about
him your Cody Rhodes question.
who me, me
Yeah, ask Duke. See if he got an answer. What your Cody Rhodes question?
as far as his wife.
No, like what does he do compared to?
Okay, Duke.
Yeah.
And I'm not speaking experiences. I'm only speaking in ring. What is it that Cody Rhodes inside the ring? What is it that Rhodes can do inside the ring that Montez Ford can't do inside the ring?
Well, well, Cody has that. I think Montez Ford, great athlete, but can get very excited because I remember his U.S. Championship, cell match, and I'm like, he's good, but he was like all over the place. I'm like, he doesn't, you know, slow down a bit. I think Montez Ford can be that, but he needs to just like let the game come to him. And Cody took a long time to let the game come to him. He went some bumps and bruises.
Okay, I want you to think about what I'm saying though. I want you to, I'm not cutting you off for no reason. I get where you're going, and I get where your point on what you just said. To break that, I do want to say that maybe people get a little more excited and doing things because they want to step out and get noticed a lot more. And I don't mean a little, I mean a lot more. So Montez Ford may get overexcited because he's not being booked in a position like Cody Rhodes to do that, and he's just trying to do whatever he can to step into that position. Like, hey, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. But if given the opportunity,
I think he
do
could
you believe
be
that Montez could do exactly what Cody is doing
yes, and probably a little
in
bit
the ring?
yes, and probably better at it. I mean, to me, him.
Jay, did you hear that?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think give him the opportunity. He
That's
can
my point.
give him the real
That's my
opportunity
point.
and build him up. And hopefully they'll break up the Street
That's my
Profits
point.
too, because I'm tired of having tag teams break up for stupid reasons. Back in
But
wrestling,
the problem with that is fucking Angelo Dawkins, because
Dawkins is
Angelo
good.
I like Angelo Dawkins because Angelo Dawkins remind me of me.
Big dude who can just hit
He's
people.
more of me than fucking Montez.
Yeah, me too, man. And I think he's a former. I think he's like former like center, I think, or some like offensive lineman or something like that. So I mean,
Man, I had tears in my eyes after I seen what they did at WrestleMania last year when he fucking sacked Braun Strowman like that and hit that fucking splash and got the pin.
that was at WrestleMania 2 years
And
ago.
two years ago, and my thing is, those moments is not even supposed to hit people like that. But for the fact that it's so rare to see a nigga that look like me do that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Montez Ford is your average black man in which they expect you to look like and act like, and Angelo Dawkins is me.
I think he should be. Why not have them both go after? I mean, there's no rule for a tag team to go after singles championships. Why not have him beat like what? Screw it. Have him beat. If I was doing it, have Angelo Dawkins, and you know they actually go on singles run because they can't do it as a tag team. I don't know why, but I want not to have them go after for
Dude,
us.
dude. I got another question. And Jay, because that I know that you went with the Cody question, but I think this is the most important question that I asked that I believe that no one else asked in the wrestling community. Can multiple black Americans be
At the
successful
same time.
separated
Yes, but you have,
at the same time?
but
At the same time.
but it has to be.
What I mean by that, what I mean by that, let me just real quick. If Trick Williams, Wesley, and Obafemi was to come up on the roster today,
Mm,
can you still give them the
no, you can't.
equal success but separate on top of Carmelo Hayes, Montez Ford, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Lash Legend, Naomi? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so now. It's the really messed up part is I don't know. You can. Me personally, I wish if I was had the booking thing, I actually would have. Um, Me personally, I wish that if I had the power, I would
Is
have.
that being biased? Is that being
No,
biased,
I want.
or am I recognizing their
They're
talent and
talented.
thinking that they should be in these positions?
Yes, they should be. In fact, it is basically. I feel like it's just like they're going through their crime time era. If you remember, crime time, they were number one contenders and never got a championship match. And when they do, they lost. And I'm like, the crowd was begging JTG and Shaq to get the championships. They were like ravenous for them, but they didn't. And then they broke them up, and JTG survived for years and years, and they came back and we don't know what happened. Shaq
No,
come
he
out.
didn't survive years and years.
He was a
No,
jobber. He
when they
was a
broke
jobber.
up, no,
He was a jobber.
they never had individual. Yeah, he was a jobber, but they never had individual success.
Yeah,
This is what you relied on them for.
yeah, that's what it is. And you look at what happened with Sheldon. I honestly, I felt like if I saw Vince during that whole big moment, I would have jumped him and knocked him out because that is one of the most. I felt like that was the most racist thing they ever did. And I mean, this is like WWE.
My thing with Shelton is I understand where people come from where he can't talk, but you know what? And you know what? I'm gonna give you the perfect example. And I don't think you was
Jack
up here,
Swagger.
but I just, oh my god, I don't
Oh
think you
my
was up
God.
here. Fuck, you just making it even worse. I, I don't even think I was up here. I don't think you was up here when I said this, but I delineate. So, like, I think you was. I think we just talked about it. Africans don't like us. You recognize that there is a cultural difference between Caribbeans and Americans and shit like that, right? So, Bobby Lashley is a Hispanic. He's a Panamanian, okay? But his dark skin shows you and would have you the illusion that he's us, right?
Mm,
He's a black American.
I always thought he was
That's what
black.
the illusion would have you, huh?
I always thought Bobby was black, man.
yeah,
You know
well,
what I'm saying? Same thing with Big E. He's a Jamaican and Monstarian. He's not a black American. Like I said, no disrespect to them, and they have never shown disrespect to us. But at the end of the day, like um Kendrick Lamar said, they not like us.
hmm,
This is the year of delineation. Kamala Harris is an Indian who Indian people hate you. You go into their stores and they're going to call you a nigger. And Jamaican people don't necessarily be in our favor either, right? This is the people that they present. So with me saying that, I'm looking at the successes of these people, and they want us to latch on to their successes. But when I look at Black Americans and I look at Booker T, that's the only person we could go to.
Mark Henry.
mm,
I, well, I look at the
uh,
successes of Mark Henry, and Mark Henry shit came in spurts. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And was he over? Did he truly overcome, or
it was
did we look at
recency
his one
bias.
title reign and say? Did we look at his only title reign and say we satisfied, we
Well, he
content?
had two title reigns. Remember that ECW one? I know what ECW
Come
was
on, bro.
dead,
Come
but
on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on. Come on. Work with me. We not counting that shit. Work with me.
all right, all
I
right.
went to I was there. I'm gonna tell you, I was there during ECW. That shit came on after SmackDown tapings, and half the arena left. So stop playing with me. Come on now.
All right, all right. Mm. But yeah, it's
But no.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Mark Henry never had no tangibles. That's the word that I use. It's nothing tangible. So my point in that is white folk would tell me, "Oh, nigger, Kofi Kingston held the WWE Championship." So they hate it when I say, "Okay, cool." And listen, I'm realistic. He lost to Brock Lesnar in the way that he did. I expect him to. Okay, I'm realistic on that. They never made Kofi Kingston a contender again. Not only did they never make him a contender again, they never made him champion again. What the fuck am I supposed to be satisfied about? Randy Orton is a 14-time champion. John Cena is a 15-time champion. They have opportunities to get that route. Do Bianca Belair have the opportunity, even though in the ring she's greater than Charlotte Flair? And we understand why Charlotte Flair is getting these. And I'm not taking nothing away from Charlotte. Charlotte was the best in the world at the time for women. Is Bianca Belair ever going to get the opportunity to be a 5, 6, 10 time women's champion?
Nope.
It's sad. That's the worst thing about this is that what is Bianca and Jade?
I just let you know real quick. I separate Charlotte Flair from Ric Flair. If Charlotte Flair was never Ric Flair's daughter, if she worked the way that she did, I'll give Charlotte her credit. With that being said, can Bianca achieve the same shit?
No, I honestly say no, and the reason why is that look at what she's doing now, slumming it with Jake. I'm like, I forgot. Like, wait, who's the woman? I'm like, how can I forget about Bianca Belair and Jay Cargill? They were presented as these big stars when Jay was AEW. Like, oh, she's a star, whatever. Then they WWE probably, oh my god, big star. They got car and everything, and I'm like, and then they just faded away into irrelevancy. I mean,
Man,
could you imagine
dog, man. Listen,
telling
bro.
Bianca
If
and
you did
Jade?
not sign up to, if you did not subscribe to Wrestling with Racism on YouTube, subscribe.
Mm.
Listen, let me tell you something. What you just said right now with Jay Cargill and Bianca Belair, people will call me racist and they may call me anti-black because I'm recognizing the difference. Remember, Jay Cargill is a Jamaican, 100%. I'm being serious when I talk about the system of white supremacy because the system of white supremacy will utilize other black people to undermine black Americans specifically. And what you just said, and we know that Jade Cargill is not nowhere near even like, let's say, better than Bailey. Which, by the way, Nia Jax, that's my bitch. Y'all leave her alone.
Oh, she was great.
She's supposed to be unconventional. That's what I love about Nia Jax. She make wrestling look real. You know what I'm saying? That's a big bitch. She's supposed to fucking fall on your face and make it look like it hurt, and you supposed to be hurt for real, bitch. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, she. I honestly, she Piper
Hey,
Niven. I would
yeah.
actually just have her just basically just. I'm like, why haven't they just have her be like destroy people and everything? I just
Hey,
like,
hey,
That's what the fuck she's supposed to
hey,
do.
hey,
yes, that's what she did.
you be doing your research, man. She is Jamaican.
Yeah,
I do my research, nigga. This is what I do. Wrestling with racism.
this man,
Subscribe.
this man is good, by the way, and I love that. And yeah, I always look at the situations about this, and ooh, man, I had to go now because I have to do some other
That's why I'm
stuff,
glad
man.
that I came upon y'all. That's why I'm glad that I came upon y'all
Yeah,
because that's why I cut you off the last time. I lost myself. You got to remember too. I'm in my mode now, but
I get
I
that
cut
too,
you off the
man. Don't
last
worry.
time. Yeah, I cut you off the last time because you said certain things. You got to remember, I get into it with people online about this stuff, black people, because you said certain things that black people tend to overlook. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You know that there's a problem, but a lot of people will overlook it because they got a title around their waist.
Yeah.
You recognize that that Bianca Belair is holding Jade Cargill hand to get to a point. Do they have white folk holding white folk hand to get to a point, or do they send them down to NXT?
Yeah, you're right.
Mm,
Malik Blade, look him up if you never heard about him.
mm.
He's been at NXT level up for. Oh, you know what? Perfect example as to why they can't have multiple black people successful at the same time, right? Trick Williams was the NXT champion, right? And
Mm-hmm.
he's the NXT champion now, but they kind of kept him up in the higher ranks of NXT, right?
Yes,
But, but they exposed us to Javon Evans. And Javon Evans may be the hottest new talent that all of us have seen. Like he's unique in a lot of different ways. He
he's get
make cruiserweight look acceptable now, right?
he's getting a match with
I could
Randy
walk.
Orton. So WWE is hot.
Javon Evans to me is better than, and this is not me being racist. Javon Evans high flying to me is better than Will Ospreay.
Well, and remember he's still young, and I think
Yep.
and he can improve. Or you know,
The point in wrestling is anybody can do anything. Is based off of how you book them.
yeah,
That's my point. Cody
yeah.
Rhodes, my whole point in saying Montez Ford, Cody Rhodes can't do nothing that Montez Ford can't do if given the position.
Yeah, man.
Javon Evans, since we understand that he can get it, if Triple H could sit down and tell him, listen, you do this, and you do it this way, you're going to be successful. He's going to be able to do that.
Or he gets released a year later when WWE do budget cuts. He'll be on Ring of Honor for like 6 months, and no one will care.
Because of the color of his skin.
Hmm.
Like I said about Bianca Belair, white folk would justify Bianca Belair being released 2 years from now because the WWE have not put the effort behind changing her gimmick not one time.
Well,
Well, that's the real sad truth, man. That's
Now we
ooh
know that Bianca Belair inside that ring. I don't know if Duke, you was up here or not, but we recognize that Bianca Belair is as natural as Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar.
yeah, she's great. There's nothing else that
Yeah,
I honestly thought that her
but
being in the tag division would actually do the same thing what they when she was a champion Raw and SmackDown. So to elevate the belts to make them to be the premier belts that they should be. Instead, it's just the way that she's been booked, like you said, to be
let me
irrelevant.
put this in perspective. Let me put this in perspective for you. Kurt Angle attracted me when I first started watching wrestling for real. The first couple of years that I first started watching wrestling, Kurt Angle attracted me for a lifetime. And I'm talking about as a wrestling fan. Not as a racist or none of this other different shit. Kurt Angle attracted me because when I first started watching wrestling, he was a dork. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
That's what attracted me. When you think of Kurt Angle, do you think about dork Kurt Angle or do you think about his overall career?
His overall career. In fact, he had the best rookie year of all time.
And it's funny that you said that because his very first year, he was a dork. After that, he was a fucking savior. He was a white savior for the WWF on the invasion shit. After that, he was a fucking mix between the dork and the motherfucking savior. After that, he was known as a wrestling god. After that, he was known after this. They elevated Kurt Angle into so many different levels. He was Kurt Angle, but they
they had
elevated
so many
him
different
into so
versions of
many
them.
different levels. Huh?
So many different versions of them.
So many different versions of him that you couldn't hate Kurt Angle in no instance.
And
They're not doing that with Bianca
no,
Belair. She's constantly coming out, shaking her hair, and that was cool for us because hey, we've been waiting to see some shit like that. But now, damn it, what are you going to do to make her be like, I want to see her hold this title for the sixth time, and I want to see her hold the title for the ninth time, and I want to see her hold the title for the 11th time. They're not doing a single thing to elevate them. Our truth, case in point, Miz changed several times over the years. Our truth been the same. Stop playing with me.
Well,
Well, he
you
had
ain't
that
lying.
heel run. He had that heel run, back
And
in
then,
2011.
and then
I was at
And
that
that was
show.
supposed to get him, and that was supposed to. I would have been most satisfied if they had actually gave him the WWF Championship because he took the opportunity that was given. Our Truth took the opportunity that was given to him and showed you that he wasn't this ignorant nigger. And they still, not only did they show you that he was the ignorant nigger, they made him the most ignorant of them all. Our Truth can perform. But this is what they portray him as.
Yeah, it's
What man have you seen come out there and say, fuck you, bitch? I'm about to smoke my motherfucking cigarette.
mm,
yeah,
Nigga on national TV, bitch, I'm about to smoke this. What you about to do? And I'm about to kick John Cena ass tonight. That was
yeah.
refreshing to me. And then they fucked it up.
And they ruined not just that, but also wasn't that during the Nexus thing too, or was it like after? Oh, it was after. Gosh, everything was terrible during that time. We had him winning the title, and then CM Punk the whole summer of fail, and then bleh, nothing. Just just a terrible thing. It's a
I'm a
shame.
wrestling historian. I'm a wrestling historian, and I don't know what you're talking about. That is a problem.
Oh,
No, I'm
it's
serious.
I remember this. The curse.
I'm not saying what you against. I'm saying that's a problem to me for the fact that me as a wrestling fan that could tell you what happened with Matt Hardy and fucking S.A. Rios. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Can't remember what the hell you just said right
that's
then
what's
and
up. That's
there,
what so many
and it
people
was
were tuning out, man.
it's a problem.
there's
I
a
know
reason why I
Jamal.
got like
He's not talking right now. But that's when he was tuning out too. He stopped watching wrestling for a while around that time.
I got floor side seats for $100 for that show of Capital Punishment. They
That's
were
how.
WWE
I'll
was
be damned
desperate.
if I pay $400 for a seat for the same seat. Nah, shit.
Hey, I got a good
And you
deal.
wouldn't.
Hey, I got good deals, by the way. You gotta look for those good
I know them
deals,
tickets.
though.
I know them tickets in Atlanta were expensive as fuck tonight.
Mm,
Man, fuck that. For fucking SmackDown, it's $1,000 to get on that chair, on that seat.
shit. Anyway, I gotta go now. I have to do some stuff. It's great talking to you. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna go and subscribe to
Hey,
Wrestling and
who is
Racism,
this?
man.
Who is this Duke?
Duke.
Is this Duke?
Yeah. Yes, man.
Real quick, before you go. Real quick, before you go.
Yes.
Um, oh shit, I forgot my question just that quick, and I had it in my head for the last few minutes. Hold on.
No worries. No
um,
worries. No
real
worries.
quick. Okay, I got it. Real quick before you go. Can you admit? First of all, are you a Black American?
Oh yes, 100%.
So you're not African or Jamaican or none of that shit
No,
that
no,
they say
no,
we are.
no, no, no,
Okay,
no.
so with that being said, can you admit that we are an exceptional people as far as when it come down to entertainment?
Oh
We are the most
yes.
athletic, entertaining, charismatic people in the world, right?
Oh, when we get the opportunity, we will not just daze you with our brilliance, but also, you know,
Well,
we will show you brilliance in many of the
let's look
ways,
through our
man.
history. Let's look through our history. Let's look through music. We created country. We created jazz. We created rock and roll. You know, even when they tried to fuck it up, okay, y'all want to take rock and roll? We could make R&B. We could make hip hop, and yet they got a stranglehold over that, right?
Yeah, and heck,
My point.
every time we got
My point.
doctors and scientists. Last I saw, at least a black woman actually is coming up with something that actually take down blood cancers and such like that. With lasers and everything, it is actually getting pretty
I
well.
was
So you
about
know,
to beat my cousin ass this morning because we had an argument about Jack Daniels. A black man had the recipe for Jack Daniels, but a white man, was able to patent. So my point in saying all of this is we could recognize that we are an exceptional people around the world. So why is it that we can't be an exceptional people in the fake scripted sport?
the reason is
So
because
my
we don't
point
own
in
anything. We don't own that thing and that process and such. We don't own the means
okay.
to it. So you
Now,
know,
with that being said, because we went through a cycle with you being here. With that being said, I posed the question: if I were to start a promotion that's black owned and operated, how quickly would white folk hit that discrimination on litigation? How quickly would they hit that discrimination against us?
well, I know a couple black organization wrestling organizations around my way. Fight Pro, and they're doing pretty well. ASC is doing pretty well as well. Um,
ASC is doing pretty well.
and Fight Pro. In fact, I think that's the first time I saw Willow Nightingale, Trisha Dora, you know, and I think Shug D is their champion right now, and they're probably
Wait
gonna
a minute. Hold it.
Trisha Dora.
Because you said something interesting. Trisha Dora is African, and just to pull your ear, because like I said, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rasslin with Racism, I explain the importance of delineation. I know that people would tell you that Willow Nightingale is black, right?
Hmm.
But she's actually Guyanese and white. Her father is white, her mother is Guyanese. And I don't know, like I said, wherever you say you from, I'm pretty sure you can't walk outside and see any Guyanese person. And they're going to take that Guyanese person and say that you're black because it's a melanated skin color on most of them and apply that her success to you.
Hmm.
I'm saying stop accepting that because it's not you. Okay.
Hmm.
And when you say Trisha Dora is some type of African.
Hmm.
Okay. So when you name these people and you look at their successes and you attribute it to skin color, I'm telling you to attribute it to ethnicity. It's a difference. We're not the same.
Hmm.
And they're going to use those people to tell you that we are the same. At the same time, we are still left on the absolute bottom of everything. They're pushing Jade Cargill, who's a Jamaican, via Bianca Belair, who's a Southern Black American woman. Over the last 4 years, we've been able to say Bianca Belair is this, but eventually we're going to move on and say that Bianca Belair is that. Are you going to let a Jamaican person who doesn't necessarily, and I'm not saying this against Jay Cargill specifically, but a Jamaican who doesn't necessarily respect you as a black American to represent you as a person?
Hmm.
Simone Biles, she beat Jamaican women in the Olympics. It's a difference. Shakara Richardson, she beat Jamaicans in races. It's a difference. You understand?
Yes. Yes.
So once we look at that and we look at the state of the WWE as to where they want us to rely on a black American woman to skate us through relying on a Jamaican woman. At the same time, Obafemi is coming up. At the same time, they want Omos to come up. At the same time, they got Big E, who is a Jamaican and Monstarian, coming up. At the same time, they got Kofi Kingston coming up. At the same time, Montez Ford is declining. At the same time, Bianca Belair is stagnant, and then that's her only reliability,
Mm,
and Swerve. In essence, Bianca Belair and Swerve is our only representation to say that the WWE and AEW aren't racist organizations.
mm,
White, a lot of people didn't find out that Mercedes Monet or Sasha Banks was black until Michael Cole said that she was black. And what happened was white folk took that and said, oh, Sasha Banks is a black woman. So any success that she has is accredited towards us. They never take accountability for themselves, right?
mm.
Yeah, yeah, because you're
Yeah.
right. Because she is technically half white, but they don't. They ain't gonna view
They
her
won't
success
they
as
they
white
won't
folks'
never tell
success.
you that.
Mm.
Except if you look at your aunties, and I don't know you and I don't know your family. Except if you look at your aunties, can you tell me that she act like your aunties?
Ah, well. Mm.
Do she act like your cousins? She didn't even marry a black American man. And to take it even further than that, her father is a black American man. Her father is Snoop Dogg's mother brother, right?
Yeah.
This is what they're
Mm.
going to tell you. This is what they're going to tell you. Yet, her black American father, Snoop Dogg's mother brother, ran off on Mercedes Monet, Sasha Banks, this black woman. And she was raised by her white mother in white society. But for the simple fact that her father is black, who she rarely interacted with, she's a black woman. And I'm supposed to take her success and accredit it to me.
Or to say her success is the same as Bianca Belair's success. It was raised
Yeah.
You
by
know
It
what I'm
is
I
saying?
just
was raised
all.
by two black parents. So
You
Mm.
know what I'm saying?
so I can get I
Two
Yeah.
can
niggers, because they're not gonna look at her mother as a nigger, obviously because her mother is white, but they're not gonna look at her father as a nigger because she's related to Snoop Dogg. And remember, Snoop Dogg is
Yeah.
America's nigger. Remember, Snoop Dogg whole thing is smoking weed. And that's what made him cool. Pay attention. Snoop Dogg ain't no gangster. He's an artist since 1993.
Yeah. That's what it is, man.
you
But
get
anyway,
deep in it,
great
man.
talking to you. To get deep in all
I'm
this
real,
stuff,
man. I
man.
can't help, man.
Yeah, this is
I
beautiful,
can't help.
man. I mean, that's what it is at
But
the
it's
end of the
not
day.
just that. It's not just that. Y'all could say whatever y'all want, but spread the fucking word. It's a
That's
problem.
all. That's what we try to do, man. Anyway, I gotta head out. Love just the conversation, man.
I
Everything else,
appreciate you
and I
joining
will
in,
talk
dude.
y'all later. I'll see y'all later, man. And peace, man. I already followed you, APK.
Most
non-crack down,
definitely. I'll
man. I
keep in
followed you.
touch.
I
All
don't
right,
know,
peace.
I
hey
got
Jamal. I don't
listen.
know if
One
you
more
got
thing.
anything
One
to
more
say,
thing. One more
Jamal.
thing. One more thing. I got a you. I got a. Just check out my link tree. I got a Facebook group that I'm starting, and it's hard for me to navigate Facebook. I haven't been through that in a minute. But
Me
join that
too.
group. Join that group. Just answer the questions. But don't join the group if you are going to be on some coon shit of, oh, I'm tired of y'all talking about this. I'm trying to start this group, and it's for Black Americans only. No Africans or Jamaicans, none of that shit. Answer the questions, join the group, I'll accept you, and then we could talk about anything. It doesn't matter if it's wrestling related or not. Just do not be a coon. That's
No
all I ask.
worries. No worries, man. All right, I'll see you later. All right.
Got you. All right. Sorry about that, Jay, man, but
I was trying to see if my
that's what I do,
I was
man.
trying to see if my
Huh?
boy Jamal gonna talk or not because he's still on listen mode. But cause he kind of talks about some stuff like this sometimes too, though. But
Well, let me get to know the host. Let me get to know you. How do you feel about any of this stuff?
oh no, Jamal, you don't know. But
I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. No, I'm saying, how do you feel about some of this stuff?
I mean,
Because,
you gave me some perspective on stuff that I didn't know. Because a lot of these people that you were saying of different cultures, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know. So I've been educated tonight. So I appreciate that.
well, like I said, it's a problem to me, and people will call me um whatever, racist or xenophobic or whatever. But when I get down to, but it's based off of the specifics. I don't have no problem with any other black person, but when I look and see that my particular black people are being exited out, then that becomes a problem with me, and I think anybody will feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Obafemi may be the best thing that come out of NXT, but at the same time, we are not the same. And he may not tell you on the open platform, but I will.
All right. What
That's
about you,
enough.
Jamal? You got any thoughts?
No, I mean I tuned in late, so I kind of tuned into the deep end there. But I get his point. I absolutely understand his point, and he's not wrong. There is a cultural difference. We saw that with what is it that the podcast dudes that was on the Andrew Schultz thing, and people threw a fit about him because Andrew Schultz made some comment about black women or whatever. And it's like, I mean, they're from Britain. Like, so, there's not going to be a connection there for them. Because, like you said, and this is a very nuanced discussion, and I
That's why I said
prefer,
2024 is the year of the
yeah,
nation.
I want unity for all of us, but to be realistic, the people that he's talking about, they're able to play in that lane, right? Where it's like I could be black when it's convenient for me, but I can also go the other way and be like, nah, well, I'm not really black. Um,
The Rock.
Ethiopian.
The Rock.
Jamal, I'm not, dude. Jamal, I'm just, oh God, you hitting it on a good level.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning blackness,
No, I get your
but I
point.
do question. No, no, no. I do question, how do people describe black?
Hmm.
Because, like I said, we are melanated people, but like you recognize, and I think this is where people get it confused. It is a cultural difference.
Absolutely.
We were robbed out of the opportunity of learning about Africa, completely. So you got to know,
Mhm.
when we were slaves, when people talk about slavery and shit like that, within 100 years of slavery, black people in America didn't even know that Africa existed, for the simple fact that cultural existence was stripped and stolen away,
Mhm.
for the fact that we did not have the ability to learn, read, or write. We didn't realize that Africa existed until after slavery. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And slavery lasted for 300 years. That's a long ass time.
Institutionalized slavery. I mean, we
Institutional.
can. It's definitely lasted beyond that, but
Yes.
institutionally, I get you. We're on the same page.
But what we did, since you get that, what we did is we created our own culture in every way, from the way that we talk, to the way that we act, to the way that we walk. And mind you, they tell us in every instance that it's negative. So it's a connotation. behind everything that we do.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, we do it, right?
Absolutely.
Whether society see it if it's right or wrong. So it is a cultural difference. Yet we are labeled racist for distinguishing that difference. Okay, I'm not in tune with Africa. Nigga, what the fuck is you about to tell me about Africa that's gonna make me want to move to Africa? I created this shit. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's things that the temptations can do. You
I
understand?
get you.
That five people from Africa probably can't emulate if they tried. And they have. You know what I'm saying? So it is a difference. My problem is white folk delineate. They would tell you in the instance that Italian people aren't white.
Yep.
They would tell you in the instance that Polish people aren't white. And if you've been keeping up lately, white folk would tell you that these people in Israel, these white so-called Jewish people, aren't white.
Nope. But
I get you.
it's the same. It's the same sort of situation where, again, they will claim you as that when it's convenient, right? So
Yes.
slavery ends, and black people are the ones with the skills, because we was the one working the fields, we was the one doing all the work in the house, we were the iron, we were the blacksmiths, we did all that. So when the expansion goes west and everybody thinks Lincoln freed the slaves, great, great. No, he was saving jobs for white people. That's what he was doing. Because if we
He was
all went
creating
because
opportunities for them.
right, because if we all went west, we'd have all the jobs because we got all the skills, and they wouldn't have anything.
They wouldn't have
That's what
anything.
that was about.
We had
So
just took over everything.
we would have took over everything. We would have took over everything. So that's, we have the school, we have that talent, but when that happens, they have to bring in more people. So, like you said, the Italians. I've had this argument with people before, where they were like, well, I'm Irish. We were enslaved too. Yeah,
Irish
but
people came over to America and became cops and they killed us, which assimilated them into whites.
y'all, they were enslaved. But guess what? When they needed your numbers, they said, "Oh, you're one of us. You're white." The Italians, same thing. It's all the
You
same.
got
They
any kids?
all.
You got any kids? You got any
Yes,
kids?
yes. I'm a new father, actually.
Good. And it's good that you knew because you can instill these things to them now because society say that the things that we know are not supposed to be instilled into our children. These people are taking the things that we are talking about right now, they're taking them out of schools at this second.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They're trying to take all of that stuff out of school. I mean, we
Once
see
our
this.
generation is dead and gone, America got black people minds exactly where they want it to be. All the shit that I could talk to you about right now, my sons at 9 and 11 will not understand because when they go to school, the white kids that's in that school is not going to show them what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
absolutely.
But as they get older, they're going to understand the difference. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. Since they don't see it, they don't understand it, and they don't believe it, and they don't will not recognize how to operate, how to move. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and we have to teach people, and we have to teach our kids, man. Like, it's
A
good
lot
to
of us
learn.
don't have the same understanding either.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah. I mean, there's so much that we aren't.
we wouldn't if us if enough if more than enough of us had the understanding of what we talking about right now. Then, to be honest with you, be to show you how exceptional Black Americans will be, if enough of us had the understanding, then this wouldn't be a conversation at this second. We would be talking about WWE Bad Blood
Yeah,
and how Carmelo Hayes, defending his WWE championship or some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, hey,
Yeah.
hey, 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 HBK 100.
Just HBK.
All right, ask him the question about Cody Rhodes.
Oh damn, this is a new person. My bad. All
Nah, he
right.
been hopping in
he
and out, my boy Adam.
Jamal already on point. Adam I don't care about, but
No, Adam cool, man.
Jamal already, huh?
Adam cool, man. Hey,
Huh?
don't be dissing Adam. He cool, man.
No, see that's the problem right there, man. Listen, I'm not gonna be disrespectful to your space. Hi, Adam. How are you?
Hey,
I
man.
don't know what to say. I don't. Hi, Adam. Hi. How are you?
Uh, don't be
Let me
disrespectful.
put my chicken away. I can't eat chicken right now. I'm talking to Adam.
Hey, man. Calm down.
I had to put mine away too. As soon as you started talking, I said, I got to put this jerk chicken away. He
Man, what?
gonna go through the
Oh
phone.
yeah, the jerk chicken. You better put niggas don't eat jerk chicken. Where you from, nigga?
Oh, I'm right outside. I'm in the suburbs of Chicago.
Is you a black American?
Yes.
You Haitian,
No, black.
Caribbean?
Black mom,
What you
black
eating
dad.
jerk chicken from? What you eating jerk chicken? Where that shit? Do you? Your mama ain't never made no jerk chicken. Where the fuck you get that from?
My mom has made jerk chicken, but she was a teacher, so she worked with a lot of different people from different cultures and whatnot.
I know,
But
and I'm getting my biases. Like I said, I listen. I haven't been to New York, but I've been through Florida, and Florida is no, from what I've witnessed, there's no Black Americans down there at all. But it's a lot of Jay Gargills. There's a lot of Jamaicans. There's a lot of Haitians and stuff down there.
yeah.
And like I said,
Mhm.
that's how I know they don't necessarily care for us, despite how much they make cosplay. Um, just from talking to these people personally. But like I said, it's just certain things that people just don't do. Niggas don't make jerk chicken.
No, no, I don't.
Niggas don't make
I
jerk chicken.
don't. But my
No,
my
Hey,
cousin, my cousin
man, you
lives
made Adam
just about.
leave, man.
fuck him. Listen, man, I'm not anti-white, but I'm talking to y'all, man. I'm not trying to explain nothing to white people. The reason why I'm not, and I'm being serious. I'm being dead serious because this is why. I'm gonna get personal with y'all on the level to where y'all might know. Because it's people like that that will be accepted